Hi, PerspectaWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday, March 17th. A lot to talk about this morning. Looks like we'll have the first significant severe weather outbreak of the season today and tonight, and really it continues into the day on Thursday. We'll talk a lot about that over the next several minutes. This same system that will produce the severe weather today down in the deep south, the Tennessee Valley, will generate a soaking rain event for the Mid-Atlantic region from Thursday into Thursday night. The first significant precipitation event in the Mid-Atlantic region for the entire month of March. That rain will change to snow in much of the interior of the Mid-Atlantic Northeast U.S. by early Friday morning as colder air wraps into the system by the time it reaches the Mid-Atlantic coastline early Friday morning. Let's start off by looking at the severe weather possibilities for today. First of all, this is from NOAA's Storm Prediction Center based out in Norman, Oklahoma, and a high chance of severe weather in this particular area right here. And this whole region is under the gun today for severe thunderstorms that certainly can include the generation of tornadoes. Everything involved here: damaging wind gusts, torrential rainfall, large hail. In this particular area, the deep south all the way into the Tennessee Valley, all the ingredients are coming together. This area shifts to the Carolina coastline, especially in this region here, by tomorrow and into late in the day on Thursday. For today, again, the first significant severe weather outbreak of the season so far. Well, let's talk about some of the ingredients involved with this particular severe weather outbreak here by looking first at the surface weather map. We have strong low pressure starting to develop right now over Oklahoma. That will intensify during the day as it moves in this direction. So right off the bat, you have an intensifying surface low pressure area. We'll see in a moment here, all supported by very, very strong energy in the upper part of the atmosphere. A deep upper level trough playing a big role. You also have a warm frontal system extending to the east, and there are some strong to potentially severe thunderstorms along and just to the north of that warm frontal system. You also have a strong cold front trailing this low pressure area down across central Texas. There are some strong thunderstorms associated with that frontal system. So if you're in Mississippi or Alabama, you can get up to 3 rounds of severe weather to monitor today into tonight. First, along and just to the north of the warm frontal system. Then, in the warm sector itself, following the passage of that warm frontal system, there will be some scattered severe thunderstorms in the warm sector. And finally, tonight, with the arrival of the cold front in the deep south, there can be another round of severe thunderstorms. So potentially 3 rounds of severe thunderstorms in this zone that is under the gun today. And again, a lot of this severe weather activity will shift to the Carolinas on Thursday. This low pressure area pushes north and east up into the Ohio Valley, probably around Indiana, southern Ohio area by tomorrow morning. And then because of strong blocking up in Canada, it will not go any farther north and ends up going south and east to off the Mid-Atlantic coastline by early Friday. So initially there'll be a soaking rain event in the Mid-Atlantic region, but ultimately colder air will push in from the northwest to the southeast by late Thursday night into early Friday morning. We'll see that in the computer forecast maps coming up here, causing a changeover from rain to snow in the interior, especially of the Mid-Atlantic Northeast. Can even be some accumulations by early Friday morning. But for today, the big news will be the severe weather outbreak possibility in the southern states and all the way up into the Tennessee Valley. Well, let's take a look at a still image of the radar right now. I wanted to point out some of these strong thunderstorms, some of these echoes showing up on radar right now. We just talked about warm frontal system extending in this area right here, and a cold front down in this area right here with low pressure starting to intensify over Oklahoma. Again, this is round 1 of the potential strong to severe thunderstorms along and just to the north of the warm frontal system. Later today, there will be severe thunderstorms forming in the warm sector behind the warm front, ahead of the cold front, and then over into the nighttime hours, strong to severe thunderstorms will swing through the southern states associated with that cold frontal system. So let's put this in motion right here. And again, watch not only along the warm front, but even later today in the deep south in the warm sector. And then tonight along and ahead of that cold frontal system, another round of strong to severe thunderstorms. Colder air on the north and west produces some snow showing up here in blue on this particular radar image from WSI's and telecast.com. Well, let's take a look at last night's 0Z operational run of the GFS. First, we're looking at 500 millibar height anomalies. By the way, there will be a major upgrade today in NOAA's GFS model. It actually will begin in operation later today, a revised version of the GFS. Main revision will involve a much better vertical resolution. There'll be many more vertical layers in the upgraded GFS that again kicks into gear later today, March 17th, and it should be a big improvement. I've been following this upgraded GFS for the last few months. It has been available, and it seems to produce a better forecast than what was the operational GFS, and again, an increase in vertical resolution, much more like the European model with more vertical layers than what has been the case. So we'll watch for that later today and going forward. Again, a major upgrade by NOAA in its main synoptic scale model, the GFS, Global Forecast System. Well, here's that deep upper level trough situated over the south central states, and again, low pressure now starting to form over the southern part of Oklahoma. This surface low will intensify rapidly over the next 12 to 24 hours or so, and it will push some very warm and humid air into the deep southern states. Again, several ingredients coming together for this first significant severe weather outbreak of the season. As this day progresses, this upper level feature will swing to the north and east, and by tomorrow morning will be situated right over the Tennessee Valley, getting ready to produce a significant rain event in the Mid-Atlantic region, which has been very dry, especially for the time of the year. March usually is a wet month. On record, it's the second wettest month in Philadelphia, for example, of all 12 months, but virtually no rain so far during the month of March. This will become a significant precipitation producer in the Mid-Atlantic region on Thursday and Thursday night. As we move forward, because of the strong blocking over southern Canada, this system will not go north and east of the Ohio Valley. It reaches the Ohio Valley and then it's kind of suppressed to the south and east, and low pressure at the surface will do the same. It will go all the way up in Indiana and Ohio and then be forced to the south and east, ending up over the Mid-Atlantic, off the Mid-Atlantic coastline by early Friday morning. This is the Friday morning forecast map of the 500 millibar height anomalies. There will be surface low right in this region right here, and in that position, colder air will wrap into the system, will push from the northwest to the southeast. As that surface low drops from the northwest to the southeast, from the Ohio Valley to off the Mid-Atlantic coastline, so will the cold air mass that will be situated over southeastern Canada. So the snow, the changeover from rain to snow will occur from northwest to southeast late Thursday night into early Friday morning, first across the interior section of the Mid-Atlantic and the northeast U.S., then all the way down into the I-95 corridor region. I do expect a changeover to snow late Thursday night, early Friday morning. It's not out of the question that there's some accumulations around early Friday morning. Let's move forward here. Eventually that drops to the south and east, and this ridging takes over the weekend, and we certainly evolve into a warmer pattern by the time we get to the early part of next week here in the Mid-Atlantic region. Temperatures back up in the 60s by Monday and Tuesday of next week in the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor. Well, let's now take a look at the surface forecast maps from the operational run of the GFS, the 0Z run. Again, today a major upgrade in the GFS. Here is the surface low starting to intensify already as it pushes into Oklahoma. Again, a warm front extending to the east and a cold front trailing to the south. Expect some strong to severe thunderstorms along and just to the north of the warm front this morning into the midday hours. Then expect some severe thunderstorms to form in the warm sector later this afternoon into early tonight. And then expect some strong to severe thunderstorms along that cold frontal system as it swings through the deep south in the nighttime hours here. Notice the fetch of air this morning off the Gulf of Mexico, pushing some very warm and humid air, a key characteristic of severe weather in this part of the nation at this time of the year. Warm and humid air pushing to the north. Let's keep moving forward here. And here we go. By early this evening, intensifying low moves from the panhandle region of Texas, Oklahoma, into the southwestern part of Missouri. A lot of severe thunderstorm activity associated with this system. Again, places like Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, Tennessee, that's the prime zone today for the severe weather threat. Can come in 3 different rounds. Again, the warm front, the warm sector, the cold front. Let's move forward here. This strong system moves into the Ohio Valley by tomorrow morning, and look at this strong surface high, and we saw a moment ago very strong upper level high also over southern Canada. That will end the northern trajectory of this particular system. It goes into the Ohio Valley and then will drop to the south and east. Significant rain starts to push into the mid-Atlantic region during the day on Thursday. Really arrives in the morning hours in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, and intensifies, and maybe late morning, early afternoon in New York City. Then it intensifies shortly thereafter. And look at this low pressure area. Made it all the way up into Indiana, Ohio, and then it will drop to the south and east. Look at that, from northeastern Kentucky to the western part of Virginia, and look at the snow starting to show up here on the northwest periphery of this particular system. This is a cold air mass associated and anchored by the strong high pressure system over southeastern Canada by tomorrow night. And as we move forward, that low moves from the Ohio Valley to just off the mid-Atlantic coastline. Colder air starts to push from the northwest to the southeast. The snow will change from the northwest to the southeast. First across interior sections of central and western Pennsylvania, interior New England, and that will drop to the south and east as that surface low drops to the south and east. And I expect a changeover to snow all the way down, quite likely all the way down to the I-95 corridor region by early Friday morning. This is a cold air mass. Low pressure at this time situated off the mid-Atlantic coastline. And at the very end of this system, it could change back to a little bit of light rain as the system really winds down in the I-95 corridor region late morning, midday hours on Friday. But there can be snow certainly all the way down to the Delmarva Peninsula coastline, even into the southeastern part of Virginia early Friday morning. Then that pushes away. Cold air, dry air takes over for Friday night into the day on Saturday. Certainly a colder than normal start to the upcoming weekend in the Mid-Atlantic region, in the Northeast. High temperature Saturday afternoon confined to the 40s. But this high then moves to the east, gets milder on Sunday, and by the time we get to Monday and Tuesday, high temperatures back up in the 60s. D.C., Philadelphia, New York City next week certainly looks like a warmer week compared to this week. So a lot going on. A severe weather outbreak today, tonight, the deep south to the Tennessee Valley. Tomorrow it shifts to the Carolinas. And again, this will include severe thunderstorms and the possibility of tornadoes, damaging wind gusts, hail, a torrential rainfall. Then a significant rain event for the Mid-Atlantic region on Thursday into Thursday night. That rain changes to snow by late Thursday night into early Friday morning, first in the interior section of the Mid-Atlantic region, northeast U.S., and then ultimately all the way down to the I-95 corridor region by early Friday morning. So a lot going on. Stay tuned to Perspecta Weather for updates later today. That's it for now. For PerspectaWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.